now let's get back to Dark Souls 2 again. Oh, hi is whatever that one, a split second, and then face this guy still on screen over here. There might be more grinding over while we goes. Let's try to rush that boss. Wow. I think I was testing before I did anything else, however. Shoot up really quickly, and then just do this. I must test with the coming out of the fittest. Definitely this guy is for a while. It's not intentional that I went to the co-op coming in the wall. I just forgot it off for so many times.
Oh. What are you doing here? Have you lost your way? I believe you're in search of the king. Well, he's keeping company with the dead. Oh my. Haste makes waste.
I would like Shalkur's Enchanter's voice. Or Shalkur's voice. It's a very soothing, nice voice. Although she has a bit of a personality, which is awesome. Maybe let's check up on here on arrival now, or wherever the hell I'm going here. Catch up respawn, they'll definitely not be grinding because there's something things I don't want in my life right about now. It's those one statues and if they respawn. Hard to see it get dark in here. Fuck, those statues don't respawn. Try that one boss a few times, see if I can take him out or something. I just want to test that coming the fittest bullshit right about now. I know these guys have these fucking bullshit over here, so it's like... Alright, those guys shoot that stuff, so it's like, whatever. Try to kill these guys, like, do these guys even respawn anymore? We're gonna have this for the sarcophagus on the way. That's awfully not a very convenient way to make a boss. Okay, very much not that great. Boss bits are not that great. Really undermine the purpose of this title, is just see that fight the boss, but you know how much damage he did it last time I fought him. It's like, I mean, it makes you think like there's had to be a better way for me to damage him than just the way I did last time. Gotta be a better way to be doing this. Oh no. I remember that, because if I just go over there and then I get knocked out by this guy and then try to go over here, these guys would have blocked the route and I wouldn't get anywhere. So that's like really trying to last ground on the last episode of my life when I was here. It's like it's the exact same thing. I'll say how long I'll be staying here because I do have a time on the car, but a co-op anywhere here. Oh fuck. See that tough, to be honest. I hate boss that can kill me instantly. That's not fun. This guy's on one of those bosses that is like, no matter what I do, I die to this guy a lot. First time I fought him pretty well. Almost killed him. It's crazy that his bro has been stolen from me yet. If I would do that, I would probably want to murder my neighbor. Or soon to be former, at least. I just remember I was supposed to teach my Gmail, but oh well. That's neither here or there right about now. I hate everything has to put some much shit on this part. Like, why is there so many enemies here? Like, I just want to get past the boss, and then like that's exactly the point. It's another cheap shot because they've got an easy boss here, but it's like we got blocked away with so much shit. So in case the player tries to rush the boss, so he dies immediately. So it's either dead or weakened, whatever reason the boss, so that the boss can easily kill him, so they can get back to throwing at these guys again. It's like this is cheap design at its finest. Like, how many enemies can you have here? There's like, it's bad enough there's a lot of shit in the way, but there's even a spawning enemies here, which I hate when their enemies respawn in it. Dark Souls, it's like the worst thing in the ever. It seems like this, I can't even keep a 7 or 6 score on this game. It's 7 is really pushing it. 6 would be overkill, but having it be 7 or 6. That much after all this other bullshit? But there was no time to do so. I hate these guys. They're slow attack, just hit for the left, hit for the right, and then walk to the left and just bash them up, and then that's it. And the boss is dead. But it's this one's like, you gotta, if you get even hit once, you gotta heal immediately. Even though it's like, instinct of mine just tells me to hit, attack and see about how much damage I can do. Maybe he'll make a mistake and not hit me, but nope, that's not happening. I mean, this boss is really annoying. It's like, everything up to this point I'm done is at risk here. Like, I can't beat this boss with the life to save my skill of my life. Or do anything along those lines. Like, whatever, I can do my everything here, and this boss still kicks my ass. It's like, what am I supposed to do about this then? And it's like, no matter what I do, I lose. Oh, no! Fuck! I mean, like, oh, it's just like 1 second away. Why can't there just be animation interruption and be completely out of here, like in that part? It's like, I'm trying to get into this room here, like, and it's like, these guys are like, yeah, we're gonna fuck you up regardless. So much of a random, so much fault here that the randomized AI here doing their own thing. Try to go through here, you try to do this kind of things, but then this guy just does whatever, hell. I'm surprised there's no actual people around here at all. That's something that's really surprised me. We don't have any kind of anything around here to help out with the fight. But you think that we would hide a hide a place for someone to get you to help you out with the boss. Like every time the boss gets too tough. Maybe going to the right. No. Damage calculators all over the place here. I mean, like, I did really well the first time around when I fought this guy, and actually just in the last video, I slapped him around quite a lot and just avoided him and just like stayed behind him. And now, though, no matter what I do, I get hit. And that's really why I hate these guys with a large enemy damage here, because From Software knows they can't design a boss to save their life with the Dark Souls 2, so they put it to be like, oh, well, let's have a large AoE damage for this boss so that he can just do high amounts of damage and do whatever. It's like, how is that gonna work for them, to be honest? I mean, it doesn't matter what I do here. It's like, regardless of what I do, I'm just gonna slap around by the boss. I don't know, it's like almost through there, and it's like whatever at this point. Like, he does way too much damage, and it's just a real problem with this boss. Like, okay, like, fuck it, I'm supposed to use like hard or heavy armor, but that's not how it's working right about now. It's like, I can take care of this boss. I almost killed him the one time. I just need to get back into the game again and able to kill him properly. But it's not working right about now. It's stay here last time, I was afraid of a friend coming over there, so I could just like that to quit any moment. So it's like whatever with this bullshit. Oh, come on! It's really just like what the random things the AI will do. Oh, come on! Again, nothing matters here. It just really depends on what the random bullshit the AI will come up with, but it'll slow you down too much if it'll get another bullshit. It's like, it takes way too long to reach this fucking boss and all, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I suppose I'm supposed to be grinding here for levels, but I just don't care. I just want this boss out of the way and out of the undead crypt. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to fight these guys. I don't want to do any of this. I just want the king's ring so I can move on. But no, I'm still stuck here babysitting these assholes. And then, like, who rings this bell over here? Where's the bell even in this place? Also, see, there's a lot of chests around here, so like, not even have time to interact with those. Yo! Damn it! It's like, why would I interact with those chests? There's nothing but traps here. There's a lot of traps here just to be able to, like, in case you go through here, you're gonna have to fight up with all these enemies. Like, why? Why any of this? It's like, it doesn't matter what I do here. It's like, I'm gonna get killed by either the enemies or the boss. Usually it's the boss, to be honest. Or more often than not, it tends to be the enemies here. It's like, what the fuck? Why is there not even co-op signs here? Nearby. That's the worst thing that bothers me the most. I mean, everybody knows this boss is tough, but there's no one to co-op here. Not NPCs or anything. Maybe I'm frustrated out on him for a moment, but that doesn't matter with this with the sound there regardless. There's this amount of an enemies here, you can just run right past them, but it's like really a crapshoot when you pass there or not. Like, oh, you can run in here and get hit by these two guys. That is, you have to Mr. Tribal, it'll take too long to get past. Or they'll be like dumbasses for no reason and do that kind of thing. Guy's damage output is way too large. Of course, I don't have anything to do with that. But now, there's nervous so how you faith will be to help against this guy because he has too much damage. I mean, how does he hit me from behind like that? This guy is way too much of a problem. I can't just handle this. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, but I just can't take on this boss. This saved my life. I mean, I need much higher damage and a much higher skill to kill this boss. I know it's gonna be grind, but I'm gonna try one more time. I can just do it one more time. But the problem is this guy has the same problem as like every boss Dark Souls 2 has. Like, you hit him in the back, and they start doing high amounts of damage for no reason. And they can hit you in the back regardless of their attack, not even hitting in the back direction in any way, but they want to be a cheap shot, just like hit you from all the fuck knows what distance. It's just like whatever. You can do whatever. It doesn't matter. I might as well just start popping jets sooner or later. The ball's not gonna crapshoot anyway. It really depends on what random direction he wants to swing this time. It's like, I die in 2 hits. I die in 2 hits. I have like 40 by vigor and I die in 2 hits. I die in 2 fucking hits. I mean, what am I supposed to do against this guy? Oh. Awesome. It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Am I just supposed to get the chest from doing stuff or what? Oh, what do you... Fuck off, guys. Oh, these guys? Are you fucking serious? Look at the trash mob that are finest. It is like, you can tell that it's the same enemies that were in Dark Souls 1 and in the other games, but maybe as we scale do higher damage. Like, high damage and high HP is not a challenging boss. It's shitty boss design and shitty enemy design. It's been like, yeah, let's make it so they're quicker and now they have much more HP, so I can do a challenge. That's not challenging. That's like making the gameplay faster to compensate for the design that you can't bother to design a proper AI to use against the player. Instead, you were lazy and just put it to be faster and quicker, so that because people want more fast-paced combat, so you just give them a more faster AI that would with slow swings and high damage. Like easily outmaneuver them, or they'd be killed by fuck knows what else afterward. And no, this was not intended to be there, just to be us for me healing from there. It just happened to be there. I mean, like, what the fuck? You guys want me to go to Island Keep? Kill these fuck nuggets for who knows how long? I mean, I don't know what the fuck am I supposed to do here anymore. It's like, I got too much stuff and I don't know what to do with it right about now. Like, oh yeah, fuck it, whatever, I got stuff here now. Really wouldn't want is to mad something's katana, but I can't even reach that because I don't even know where Belfry, what his name is. Nor can I probably reach it because they're like, yeah, let's put good design here and be like, yeah, let's put these enemies do fuck knows what else, and then just fill in the blanks while we go. I mean, none of this is good design in the slightest. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of enemies here that have been blocked away because it's like royal something. It's like you gotta have a lot of royal enemies here. Yeah, that's just you being like a shitty developer instead of a good one, and be like, you know what, we know the player can easily reach the boss to do what else, but it's like begin to decide stopping these kids past here to meet the boss, so let's just make this into a badly designed road with a lot of enemies, and a boss that can kill most enemies with players with high amount of HP, so they can't do anything against the boss when they're supposed to be counteracting him. I mean, like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, what? Is there another statue that's going to be destroyed here that missed? Seriously, I don't know. I mean, like, faster enemies and high damage does not count for challenge. Just a good, smart AI that knows and predicts the enemy player's movements and is constantly keeping, staying one step ahead of the player. That's challenging. Not just constantly stun locking the player like that, and you're like, oh no, you got hit once and now you've been hit with a combo you can't do anything about, and suddenly you're dead because the enemy just decided to punch the living crap out of you just because he had a good combo of damage that you cannot block because you don't have enough poise to be able to do that, to do anything, to counteract that. That's not good design. That's just you being lazy as a developer. And being fast-paced doesn't really compensate for that. That's you being lazy and being not able to bother to put good enough gameplay for your game. So it's not like, you know what, let's make the enemy just faster because people like fast-paced combat and get stun-locked so they can't do anything, just die because of that, instead of actually, you know, designing a fucking game. This is the one reason I afraid Dark Souls and From Software as a developer. They're not being smart, they're not being clever, they're not making a good series, they're just being lazy as all hell. Sure, the RPG series they make is decent, as a Souls game. It's meant to be challenging, but it doesn't mean it has to be just challenging if there's one thing it just does right. There's so much else here I could complain a lot about, but to be honest, it's just lazy design here. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh dude, the only real reason why I'm dying these idiots is again, because they just have a good combo of hits, like that. So I can't counteract that because I hit him once, just because I'm trying to attack him, and I can die immediately, and I can't counteract that anyway. So it's like, it's really not the fact that I could easily defeat these guys, or beat them, kill them, whatever. But these guys just attack me once with a combo that I can't counteract, and suddenly it does small enough damage, but just enough high enough to be like my own 50 vigor, or I said 40 earlier, but it's 50, is not enough to counteract that. Like, I'm practically hard capping my HP here, and I die in 2 hits. Look, I get it. The Silver set is not an armor set that's very light. I mean, heavy enough to absorb damage. I know. Upgraded to 10 plus, then I would have to take more damage. That's fine. But what it's not fine, these guys are having shitty combos to attack the players in this way. Like, there's no way I can counteract this kind of damage. Like, what am I supposed to be doing here just to do anything to get past here? I try to grind, nothing happens. I try to go to the chest to get the stuff, I just get killed by these morons instead. Again, this is something else I don't like about Dark Souls as well. I probably said it a lot of times. The weapon damage, which is really something that I also hate about this game. Attacking is a bit of a problem here. I try to attack here, but if the weapon goes slightly here, it hits this line of my pole and doesn't attack this. Oh right, yeah, it gets deflected. No, if I hit it here, it's gonna be like, it maybe breaks itself off, or the god attack continues and just swipes the enemy, but instead of doing that, like in real life, like, it's hitting more damage to the sword. Instead of I just died in this stupid bullshit. Or that, who attacks like this? Seriously, you swing, if you hit something, you get it goes on this like you hit something like here, and it's like more wild like this, like it hits the corner, like goes like this, and it just attacks the enemy. That's not how this works like this. I mean, you hit like this, it hits and it continues going. Like, yeah, okay, it hits something along the way. Big fucking deal. Just attack again and see where it hits again. And continue to hit and go like there. Sometimes it does that, but sometimes when I try to hit this kind of stuff, it's like, yeah, let's just get they get hit instead of doing anything to, you know, actually get the hit where it goes. It just gets, it's like oh, you hit the scenery, like ha ha ha. It's like, again, this is not smart design. It's like you guys made this area so small, so tiny, and it's just full of obstructions, so that when I try to go past here, I end up hitting these small obstructions instead of the enemy instead. Yeah, I get it. Katana's a long one. It's not supposed to hit that much distance. I understand that, but then there's like moments like you can clearly attack the enemy here, like that. The blade clearly hits in this direction, but the enemy just takes no damage from it, and it's just like how did that connect with the damn thing and not the enemy? This is seriously a lot of problems I have with the Souls series. It's like, games are good, but I don't like them, and I don't like From Software for doing this, because they made themselves in this, like, it's super hard, all because of the wrong reasons. Yeah, I get it. You're trying to make the games good, but it's like, this is not good. This is just like, shitty design here, just like, make it artificially difficult, and just like add other obstacles, instead of smart AI, like, oh, smart AI equals high damage and faster and lots of HP. No, 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 and no. That's you being lazy, you know, instead of actually coding a proper AI that's smart to do anything. I mean, like a good smart boss, you can counteract them and learn their weaknesses, patterns, and find out how to beat them. But this is all that there is. Like, they have like 1 or 2 moves, maybe 3, maybe 4, and that's it. They got nothing but this, and they repeat it over and over and over again. That's not, I mean, okay, fine. You've got to reprogram an AI, sort of. But still, it's not the same thing, you know? I mean, like, yeah, it's not to make the AI into this. Now you fix the damn thing as well. Like, okay, fine. You got an AI to do one thing, and now you've got to do another thing. Like, okay, fine. You coded that fucking AI. It has a pattern. You can use that pattern to kill it. But the problem is, most of these bosses are lazily and easily designed, so it's like, you just run around their back, hit them a few times, and that's it. The boss is dead. Congratulations, you win. You really have to do nothing to work here. Just keep going left, hit them around, just somehow attack they hit their large splash damage of AoE that they somehow mysteriously had, despite the weapon not even hitting the direction the player is in. That's not you being a smart developer in the slightest. You just coded a big area effect damage from the damage, and use the AoE effect as a cheap excuse just to be like, oh, our AI can do this and this. Yeah, but the damage effect didn't hit in my direction. Do you not know about damage? AoE damage works. If you hit in this direction, it slams down and there's an area effect in that direction. Like, look, I get it. The area effect hits here, it does AoE damage here. It can't just hit backwards and suddenly, unless the attack was like, hit it here and it's just somehow both like this, like, haha, that's, it has to push backwards somehow as well to have the damage in the AoE. Like, this is really AoE coding in 101. I'm not sure if I'm just not seeing the boss movements correctly, if this is the exact animation that you're using, if that's a problem here. But again, this boss just feels lazy. Nothing about this feels properly designed, or nothing feels well put together here. It's just the same bullshit of spamming enemies at the player and hope he or she dies to them. It's not smart design. This is the developers just doing budget cut. Like, yeah, okay, fine, the enemy did something, you counteracted them. Whoopee. Essentially like this is like, okay, the boss really is not smart, not enough to be able to predict the movements, predict your movements, and just do whatever, it's like, whatever. It's like, both bosses in this, like, the Dark Souls 2 are just like, okay, we run to the player, we do our thing, and now that's it. The AI is done. Like, whatever the fuck. I was already waiting to dodge this one combo already. See, this is all it is. Like, if I could just dodge there and I had enough poise, I would be past this area already. But instead, I'm not. I'm just wasting my time here. This is why I'm using this lightning spear to kill these guys, because this is not getting me anywhere. Well, I would be using if I could get past somewhere, but I was like, I'm doing a co-op covenant so these guys will respawn for ages. That's another thing I don't understand. I don't have a problem, but it's really things like, does this count for the kill limit outside the respawning, or is it just me killing off these guys and then they do not count the spawn limit of how many times you kill them afterward and how much time they repeat their actions. If From Software actually had a smart AI, I wouldn't be complaining about this kind of bullshit. It's even in the stuff like this. You guys still have smart design, like, okay, fine. Can't defeat a boss? That's well, that's good enough and all that. And the AI is just too damage high. Okay, like, then you got a place like this, like, okay, fine. You don't have enough, you have boss, you don't have enough HP to survive things, but whatever, but the player is still trying to get killed and all that. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, sure. Your players become AI, it's like, whatever. But then it's like, okay, fine, let's just put a lot of enemies here, let's hope the player just dies with them, or whatever. Like, yeah, you get it, royalty guards and all that. Because it's, you know, a tough boss. But this is just like, we got a lot of tough enemies here, and just hope one of them aggroes the player and just do whatever the fuck they do here. I'm not gonna bother saying how cheap this is to have these two enemies both aggro you at the same time. It's like, whatever the case. Like, whatever the fuck, I don't care. Like, it's really just the same, you know, Tour of 2 AI here I'm thinking back to it. AI is smart, but it has this weakness because it's like, it's put to a certain limit. After that, nothing matters. Like, run to a certain distance, and then you kill a smart AI. Like, well, look, I get it. AI programming is hard. It's not probably the easiest thing in the world, but you gotta teach a few things for the AI learns from the player's behavior, so it's harder for the player to get past the boss. See? That's smart design. Well, the AI actually learns from the player's mistakes and flaws, and we have to exploit them to get rid of the player faster. See? That's smart AI. That's something that can actually be called a challenging. But it's not a challenge. This is just like stupid AI with patterns so that the player can exploit the pattern to kill the enemy. And these guys are bog standard as you get. You bait them to do an attack, hit them a few times, and oh look, they're probably dead now again. Like, this is not even basic AI coding here. I mean, like, I can just outsmart them, these idiots, easily. Look, I get it. It's AI. It's not supposed to be smart. If it's not supposed to be smart, then why is the game challenging? It's not challenging if the AI is not smart. I will always say this. I mean, if your AI is this stupid, you can just make it fall for a simple trick like this. Like, haha. Okay, Dragon Rider, you're here now. Chase me over here. Like, okay. Let's go through here. And I'll just run all the way back here to get those other chests while the AI tries catching up. See, this is what I care them to be playing properly and grindingly. I will check for this damn kind of thing. Oh, come on! I mean, this is why I hate enemies in this kind of games. Like, the enemies are not smart in the slightest. I already complained about everything else, but they just have a far-reaching attack. Like, okay, they can hit like, haha, instead of hitting like here or something, or like hitting like, haha, you can hit over here because the weapon's long and all that. Again, this is not smart design. This is the developer admitting like, shit, we need to be a good way to get rid of the player, but our AI is too dumb and we can't bother to do what else. So what can we do? We give it more long range. I mean, don't calculate the damage of the ranged attacks properly so they can be hit the player, even though the player is nowhere near that. So then you get hit by a cheap shot from the distance that the player cannot counteract because, you know, somebody actually forgot to do their actual work. And instead of actually making it difficult, the AI would have some difficult dodge pattern or smart attacks to predict the player's movements instead of trap them when they're attacking so they can foil the player's moves ahead of time. Like, instead of doing all this, the AI is like, haha, now we just did this and whatever. And it's like AI has longer reach than anything else. It's not smart design that the AI has just a longer reach here. It's really not. That's like developer admitted, like, we didn't have that. We didn't have a good idea to get rid of the player here, or do any real AOE or anything. So it's like, instead we just decided, you know what, fuck it. Let's just give the enemy long range instead of actually designing a proper AI. I'm like, okay, fine. These guys have swords. That's fine. I mean, they have short range. You can easily dodge them. That's how actual gameplay when the Souls game is supposed to work. And it's kind of like this, like that. Like, he was in like middle of his pattern. Then because I could just get into range, die very easily. Or like this, like hit him like that. They die easily. Simple, right? I mean, why did this have to be so much respawning enemies here? I mean, just have them not respawn, that's all well and good. All the time you see what I'm doing, this kind of thing, bait them attacking. There's something like, oh yeah, just block their attacks. Really, I just block the enemy's attacks. Like, I don't like shields. I don't like blocking. Why the hell would I want to just suddenly dodge? Just dodge their attacks. Do like blocking. I mean, look at this from a writer's perspective. I played similar games to this, like Phantasy Star Online. They was well designed. There was no such thing as like the Estus Flask to heal quickly, like item healing. Or there was no things like dodge or block or anything. I mean, it's like you have the attack patterns of this enemy, and this you have them attacking this. Very similar to this, but it's not like I'm in a privileged form. If you ever play Phantasy Star Online, you know where I'm coming from. Like, all these nuances that exist in the Souls games, it's like, they're already back to days like that, but back in the early 2000s, literally the year 2000 when the Relixa Online was made. I mean, I grew up with this kind of thing and I mastered it. And even though the AI was not intelligent, I would still do the same thing. And it's like, give like smart, like good compliments and see like how AI is smartly developed. Most of the bosses in that game, based on episode 1, are smartly designed. You have their strengths, you have their weaknesses, and if you exploit them, you can win pretty easily. Or if you don't have just too good at it, you just kill these bosses and hits and deal with them quickly and help friends level up in XP. Smart, well good at. So like, here's the problem here. Now, okay, we got all this damn same thing here, but now we got problems with animations, AI, attack patterns, improper hitboxes. All this kind of needless bullshit that just doesn't need to be here. I mean, just have the AI have a few good things about them, and just a few things other than that define his AI attributes. I mean, like, there's all sorts of matters, things that could even be seriously improved here to make the Souls games a lot better. I'm not criticizing this game like it's just because I don't like the Dark Souls series, but the fact of the matter is these games are not well enough designed to be really earned a reputation here. I mean, it's like it's a cheap design as fine as the developers admitting like, okay, fine, we didn't have enough ideas to properly make this game, and it's few things into the proper way we wanted it to become. So instead, we're just gonna throw some cheap shit at the player and see what sticks and see how to learn the patterns and all that. And that's really about it. The game is all about the patterns. That's all there is to this. But in Relixa Online, you had to be worried about the enemies' randomization and patterns, and they would also home in on you like same ways like these guys. But they wouldn't actually learn from your mistakes either. This way still, but still, they tried to do their job correctly. Like, yeah, okay, fine. I deal with an enemy, I kill him, that's well and good. And then, what the Relixa Online is, like, instead of like, you be able to advance to the next room, like, you kill a few enemies, like, that's all well and good. You get the wave-based thing, like, okay, so now you deal with this one boss, and now he's, or this enemy, and it's like, okay, you get more of the same. You get more enemies thrown at you. So I'm thinking like, okay, so what's the challenge here? That's probably respawning enemies. Actually, no. The problem is these enemies are not respawning in the slightest. Instead, you know, just before you can go for the next room and then much more enemies and get more loot, you have to fight some sort of enemy waves, more like it. So we're like, how is that different from the Souls series? Well, the fact is that these waves will have a pattern and like what enemies are going to be. There's going to be different types of enemies. So you have to vary up your playing style and like what enemies you're going to decide to killing what way, and how you can deal one enemy in another way, and do this and repeat the same thing and do it properly and not fuck it up in the process. So you actually pay attention to what kind of enemies are spawning, how many, what and when they decide to do, and how to deal with them. Oh sure, they're not the Souls AI, they're not smart, they have their own patterns, but every so often they'll do some random bullshit and they just dodge your attacks completely and do whatever the hell else instead. It's like, okay, fine, that's well enough to good enough. So what is this bullshit instead? The same enemies constantly, but you kill them off constantly. There's no variation, there's no deviation, there's no you think ahead about because you know the AI on how it's going to react and how it behaves. There's none of this. You have to prepare for multiple enemies and enemy types and what kind of things that will come. It's the same thing over and over again. At least we need for the Relixa Online to at least predict the movements of the enemies, and we have to be aware of like, okay, you know, certain rooms are gonna have certain enemies. They're gonna be the same enemies, and there's like there's gonna be some dumped out guys that are tougher, but it's like whatever the hell and whatever the hell. I'm like, yeah, there's like maybe 10 different types of enemies here, but it's like, whatever the fuck, I don't care. Like, whatever you mean you don't care, like, okay, fine, you have the multiple enemy types here, and you have all this good stuff about the enemy here. You gotta make sure to predict their patterns and see if they try to just make a beeline for you and attack you, or it's just gonna be like crapshoot if you get anything done or not. And that's really what I like about the Phantasy Star Online there. I mean, it's pretty much like the same as the Soul series, but it's a bit repetitive.
Well.
But there's also a bit of something else that's about. Like, one thing that I really think Phantasy Star Online is a good game. Some of the Souls games seems to take a little bit of a page from their book. And it's like, okay, fine, you go through the game, there's like 4 episodes, like different kinds of enemies in one area, there's different kinds of enemies in another one, and the bosses and all the different types. So what's so special there? Well, the one thing that really sets Phantasy Star Online apart from the rest of the games is like, okay, fine, you had the normal enemies, you had the other types, you had the bosses, and then the bosses and enemies keep changing around. It's like not recycling the same boss, except episode 2 with a certain other boss, which I won't be who I can't be bothered to name right about now, Barbara. It's like, whatever, you know the boss, you know everything, like that's all well and good. So what's the special here? Like, it's better than like Soul series. In theory, but not yet quite. See, you might level up the same, like, okay, like usually RPGs. You get your levels, you get your stats, like you get your stats as those defined. You can find stuff that will help you, like customize your actual stats, like the materials that will give you like 2 points of certain statistics, like mental strength, so your attacks do, like with techniques, do more damage, which is, or heal more and all that good stuff, so you can just customize it to your liking. It's all well and good, right? But there's also like, after you beat the game, at least on a single player mode, you unlock like they're hard. Okay, fine, the enemies, now they have a lot more health and damage. But they're not smarter, so how is it supposed to be different, you say? Well, this is where I started on like a brilliant when it did its own thing. And like, it's like New Game Plus, but the enemies, they also drop special weapons. Now, first like, what is a special weapon? It can be different types of damage weapons. It can be like staffs, katanas, swords, all the good stuff. Same like Soul series, but you wouldn't know what they want to go to town to inspect them, or just get them by get them pure random when you kill enemies above a hard difficulty and stuff like that, and you just start to find these kinds of rare weapons. Like you never know what you're gonna get as a loot. And you're always keeping on your toes like this, like in this fashion. Like okay, so the enemies can drop randomly with weapons and whatever else. So that's all there is to the Phantasy Star Online, right? Well, that's what you mean. I think they play hard for the first time, but afterward, then you reach very hard. Okay, the enemies have more HP, they react the same, so what's different that then? Well, this time, they have all that they had before, but afterward, this time around in Phantasy Star Online, the AI gets faster as well. So, not only do you have to deal with the same enemies you already dealt with up to this point, but now they're actually faster, so we have double the speed that they did before. And it's like, is that something you criticize for? Yes, but that's the one thing that really sets it apart. I mean, like, okay, there's not some different enemies, invaders, or something like the Soul series has, but when there's actual this difficulty, and it's like, I don't even know what the AI is going to be like. It's going to be the same thing. It's like, okay, you think like that's it with New Game Plus. That's like 2 New Game Plus, right? That's okay. They got faster, they got smarter, not really, but they have more damage and more range and other bullshit. So that's it for the AI, right? Well, when you play episode 1, you think like that's all there is to it. But then you beat the game for the 3rd time, and then you unlock Ultimate. Well, at least for episode 1. the enemies completely change around. There's all the same enemies you fought before. Well, sort of. But now you actually got different kind of variations of these guys. I mean, like variations? What do you mean variations? Well, on top of the existing enemy types you fought before, which don't exist anymore, even if they don't exist, what do you mean? What do you mean they don't exist anymore? Of course they don't exist. You can kill them. And when I grind them like always. Well, that would be the case, but on this difficulty, the enemies completely evolve into a completely different form. They're much tougher. They're variations of the same enemies, but they look completely different. They have a completely new attack set. They have much higher attack speed and damage and all that. And they're all different. So I'm like, damn, that's it. They're still special weapons, right? Yep, they do all that. Broadswords and all that and good stuff. Like the Dragon Slayer and all that good stuff, like Barista and all that kind of stuff. But then, it gets better. Do you think this was it for the Online? Like, yeah, okay, the enemies were changed around, the boss, I mean, they got faster, they got higher damage, they got everything else, so, and they got different weapons, so that's all really good. But then, you come to the bosses. And even they are revamped. They have a lot more of the same, but it's always, they're harder, because they have a lot more damage, and they have a lot more attack speed, they have a lot more health, and basically they have new moves they can learn that they didn't previously have to keep throwing you off, because what move the boss may throw up completely random, they completely catch you off guard and get you in a different situation where winning is not be as easy as it was before. And then you'll be like, oh, that was a new move, and you're like, worried about pulling this move or whatever, and you can't think you're gonna close. You never know what the boss might throw at you. Same as the regular enemies, like, well, they're gonna need to swim in the regular ships and whatever the hell. But that's really the part where Phantasy Online shines. The randomization of the attacks. The enemies, they may attack once or twice or hit you once, do some damage, and that's that. They do their simple thing. They have their patterns, but to a degree, at least. They have a few hits, they recycle that, and afterward, that's that. The enemies got their things and they're done. I mean, like, what's so special about that? Like, well, unlike something like Dark Souls, Phantasy Online has one thing you're going for this. Like, the enemies, while they might attack you and all that, they just don't keep up the same attacks unless their randomized AI decides to do that. I mean, sometimes they might hit you once, after a second and then hit another time again, and make it a bit more difficult for you to dodge their movements and do other things and get rid of them quicker. So you got a bit of a problem now. So like, you gotta watch out if they're gonna hit you like this and all that. Like, and so there's a lot more to it than just that. You gotta make sure to be prepared for what they might throw at you. But I'm thinking like, that's it? That's just all you got? Well, there's a lot more to this game as well. That's all like, when the enemies hit you, there's always a chance of whatever their move they pull, magic, damage, or whatever, they might do like upwards of 3 times more damage, or what I like to call critical hits, where they can do seriously high damage, and even if you're a very high level and I've got a lot of HP, instantly kill you in a single shot, very much because the critical hit modifier decided to light up and just decide to hate you that day, and they just strike you down for a critical hit that does a lot more damage. You gotta worry about that as well. And there's no predicting it, there's no avoiding it, and there's nothing you can do about it as well. If these guys hit you and you happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, they slap you around with this attack, you're dead. You're finished. You're not coming back. Boss killed you and that's it. You're dead permanently. Well, I was getting not permanent. You just respawn in town, but still, that's the glory of it. So much else to this bit. Well, like okay, so what's that all there is to it? No, of course, there's the different classes, like same with all like there's the hunters that are military focused. They're gonna learn some of the techniques. They're gonna be robots. There's the hunters. There's there's the hunters, there's the rangers, who got the ranged battle attacks, and then there's basically the forces, which are the people who use techniques and magic. Because in the Fantasy Star universe, or at least in the past, attacks were basically techniques and magic were completely different things, and like in that game they just use techniques for the most part. So like there's a few things you can do there and the same things you know there. But what about the beautiful of it is like you don't have to play the class the ways the developers intended. You don't have to use different weapons. Like you want to use a force, and you say you want to use you want to use melee attacks, things, and use minimal stuff like that. You know, just keep up with the damn high amounts of damage you can do with that class, and that's it. That's it. Like you have like high damage with a force, and then you use some healing, or do some attacks for the damage, or just do their own thing, and just do their own thing. There's so much more to it as well. But there's one thing that does really falter in that game. That's the economy, because you know you just do that and it's done. Like, you earn enough coin, you got enough money, stuff to buy, armor, shields, weapons. But when you think about shields, like thinking like actual shields in the game, like you can use like traditional shields, like the block attacks, right? Again, no. This is a cosmetic bonus to your character. Like you have to put one equip at a time, no dual wielding or anything. It's like I said, it's the early 2000s. This was not really the time with dual wielding anymore. It's a weapon that itself has a second weapon to it, you'll use it. Fine. But when you have the actual shields and different kinds of weapons, like, they're not that it should be. They're cosmetic. Like the character creator, you just create the character, you can make the hairstyle, the hair color, all that. So like the Soul series, you can do very much here under the freedom of the game. I mean, like, you can basically just customize portion, like the character as a child or midget, tall, does he have big breasts? Pretty much in the limits of the proportion systems, you can basically customize the character pretty much exactly as you want. And it only got better with Fantasy Star Universe, even though the fan base just disagrees about whether the games that great or not. It's like whatever with that shit. It's like, but you ask me, Fantasy Star Universe just really evolved the character creator even further. I mean, like, unless I get proper footage from Fantasy Star Universe somewhere, like you could totally like go to the same place, like that same triangle, that thing, like you just got about like fat, whatever, blah blah. But instead there's a bar like this, and you fill up like you can just put like here height, weight, breast size, if you're female that is, and all that and all that kind of thing, and just put it in the same way. It's just like always. You can really customize the fullest list in the character creators, and in the Fantasy Star Universe, you can also just visit just stores to buy more clothing. So in case you don't like something, just buy a new one. Simple. There's no really hand-holding there, anything. There's no tutorials. There's no anything. There's no loot boxes or anything. I mean, it's just you, the game, and whatever skills you got at its finest. And this is where I really just have a little bit of a disconnect with the Dark Souls series and whatever. Like, okay, fine. They try to emulate part of the Fantasy Star universe and Fantasy Star Online did. But it's like so different, but it's so at the same time it's so familiar. And that's what I really like about the Fantasy Star series as a whole. Each game has had this pretty much the same, and they have evolved more and more. And what the problem is, the publisher Sega. Every time it comes to a new different type of Fantasy Star Online game, it's like the same fucking bullshit always and always. Since 2012, like, we'll bring Fantasy Star Online 2 to the West, guys. We'll let it do whatever the hell. And it's been the same for years on end. Like, it was supposed to be Fantasy Star Nova as well, for like the holdover game, you know, for the Eastern markets or whatever that, or like, And like the West and like, you know, the Americas, Europe, Australia. We're supposed to have, you know, Noah as a holdover. That's like, well, the ladies and they come over here. Like there's like suddenly like, it's 2017, people. Try and fucking guess if we have any of these games right about now. Here's a fucking spoiler for you, or hint for you to figure this out yet. We have neither of these fucking things. And this is where Sega is really faulting with this series. It's like, okay, fine. We have a better system, we have better everything, but they just not bringing anything to the West. And it's like, you know, I think like, well, like, it's like, what's the problem here then? Well, the problem here is the old Sega Japan just wants to have everything in Japan only, and basically once that's all well and good, just keep the games in the Asian markets, and beyond that, just don't bring it anywhere. And they're like really touchy about stuff that's in the game itself. Like, okay, fine, like whatever, you just want to do, like, with Sega material online and see what's happening. It's like with a Nintendo, like you get copyright claimed or whatever. But then there's Sega of America, which understands all the modern stuff, all this bullshit. Like, you try to get these games to the West or anywhere outside of Japan, and they're fully on board with this. You try to do Sega videos or whatever the hell, like, unlike Nintendo, they're like, yeah, you do that. You know, I mean, this is free advertising for us. I mean, like when it comes to games like Resident Evil Revelations, like, where's the fucking limit here? I mean, like, I tried playing Resident Evil Revelations, and where that got me. Look where that got me. I had to just cut out all the cutscenes, all the music. Probably that's really like feeling iffy about it. I want to do another Resident Evil on the channel again, just because I got content ID once, and then there was 4 fraudulent copyright claims. Like, really, the last part, that was like the time where Parker died, or supposedly fell down that hole, and there was an explosion swallowed him up. Like, all this, I remember, I had no audio there anymore. Cutscenes have 0. There's the cutscenes in there. And then Capcom, of all people, which I've had a very rocky history with, unlike Sega, which is the Phantasy Star series, all I care about in front of these guys, is like, okay, we have a cutscene here, there's no voice acting, there's no music, there's nothing here. I'm all like, okay, this is fine, everything's good. And then guess what happens? Content ID claim. And you know what's the most insulting thing about that? I didn't change anything about this. It's that same stuff that was always. It just had nothing of the same bullshit all over again, that cutscene. So it's like, well, what was the content ID claim then? The content ID claim, of all people, from Sega, had the exact same clip as I did, but it had voice acting in it, which I did not have. So not only were they just being very much fraudulent, like, oh, they want the cutscene, but they added additional dialogue that I didn't even have in the damn game, be there on where they were trying to get the content ID claim. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, that was the start and final of my series on that game, on Resident Evil Revelations. I'm not gonna do Resident Evil Revelations again anytime soon. I got to do the music, the cutscenes. It's like, is it even worth doing playthroughs for them anymore? This is one of, it's not really talking about a Souls topic anymore, but this is one thing I just talk about when it comes to this one topic to another. I mean, like, it's just related to this damn thing for some reason. No, because of content ID claims. But that's what that's that different. I'm talking about that enough as it is. I gotta get going, to be honest. I would like to kill those enemies, but I don't have enough time. I really gotta get going right about now. This is what I would hope. The Soul series, if they continue the same path, they will learn as Phantasy Star Online did. Like, okay, we did the same thing. We do the same thing as we did always. We take a few books for their page, which they obviously took. Because there was no I mean, there was RPGs probably similar to the Phantasy Star Online series, but it was probably the first console MMO I remember, at least back in the day, commercially, that was online since back the early 2000s. I don't remember anything else at the time that was a console MMO, at least. Unless you got like RuneScape, which was on a PC, but beyond that, there was nothing else there. And that's me really done rambling, so now I gotta go, folks, so I will see you later. Bye for now. Man, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but that just pissed me off. These annoying things just piss me off sometimes, and I really just like... I'm gonna go in a moment, but I gotta see something. No, never mind. I'll just quit right here. Fucking Dark Souls swear from software. They need to learn their lesson.